Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
we are recording. Tobias, how are you today?
I'm okay. I'm good.
Good,
It's
good.
cold. Yeah, Copenhagen cold.
It's pretty cold here as well. I mean, I'm saying -2 is cold, but I take it in Copenhagen.
It's the same.
That's right.
I just used to sell Christmas trees when I was younger. Now I can't take the cold anymore. I have like 10 years of like 15 to 24s and
Yeah.
25. So now I can't take the cold. I'm done.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, look, let's kick off your playlist.
Yeah.
And for the first track, I'm going to ask you, please, to tell me the song that you regard as having the greatest ever intro, please.
Can I check my playlist? Give me a second.
Of course.
Uh, I have a few because I remember I got the question and My Bloody Valentine, only shallow. I think
Yeah.
that makes the biggest impact on me ever. Um,
Tell me
because the
about
sound,
that. Like,
it just
tell me about that because, like, My Bloody Valentine is not necessarily the easiest of listens. When you listen to Loveless and that, it's quite abrasive in places, and to discover that in formative years, it's a heavy record, right?
I remember it when it came out. So I was 14, and it was like a mind bender. It sounds different. Imagine making a record, it just sounds so different. I don't know. It's a masterpiece. And I remember when I got the question, I was like, I think that made the biggest impact. There's so many good intros, but just hearing that song was like, oh, it's so dirty and
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
face. Yeah, yeah. It's like really heavy. Um, so I went to see a concert with him with my old friend Jonas from you, who sings from you. We were like maybe 15, 14.
I've had
It was
Jonas on the show. He's yeah,
really okay.
cool
And it
guy.
was so loud. And we didn't know better because, we were 14, 15. So we thought like that's normal for a concert. But it was physical, it was hurting.
Yeah, you'll never go
Yeah.
to a noisier concert than My Bloody Valentine. It's
Ah,
ridiculous.
that scarred me for life. And so I think that's made the biggest impact. And of course, you know, the Stone Roses, I Want to Be Adored is just a classic as an
Yeah,
intro, the guitar.
yeah.
And then the bass line in Melody Nelson, I can't remember what's it called, Serge Gainsbourg. So that's just a bass line.
Yeah.
Uh, there's so many good intros, man.
How do you, as the way that you create and approach songwriting now and intros, has that changed in any way in over the years as people's listening habits have evolved into utilizing streaming services and even artists using things like TikTok and such to market their music, which is generally cropping
And
things
yeah,
and
I know. I know I'm the wrong guy to ask. I always just use my stomach. And we never made a song for TikTok or thinking about our intros are always too long, like two
yeah.
minutes sometimes. We just, that's why we make no money. No, I don't know. But we're more old school. I think we came into music the same way you did. Like it was like this magic, mysterious. Bands was weird, mysterious. Especially a band like My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
Back in the days, like so much mystery.
And
Uh,
that's the good stuff, right? Because
yeah.
you know, growing up like in the sort of late 80s and early 90s, sort of artists that blew my mind, artists that fascinated me, artists like Kevin Shields and Morrissey and Michael Stipe and all of these people that were making music that I was intrigued by. I didn't know anything about them. I couldn't go on Instagram and see what they had for their dinner that day, and that elusiveness and not, you know, trying to find scraps of anything on like MTV that you might see a little thing on 120 minutes of My Bloody Valentine. That was
Hmm.
gold dust, absolute gold dust. And I think now everybody knows too much about everyone, and there's no magic like that
I remember I was working with a guy I really looked up to once and went to the studio and I was so disappointed
because you
because I
saw
had
behind
this
the curtain.
exactly and he was just he was a nice guy and funny. We had a laugh, but I just had this idea he was like this mysterious man in black. And, but it's life.
Yeah,
Also, I
absolutely.
was 20, he was 40. I
Yeah,
was maybe, yeah. So there's a big gap.
yeah,
It's when you realize your dad is a human being.
yeah,
Yeah. It's the same with exactly. I just think we grew up in a time where it's about the art piece and not so much about the human being. I don't know, with these bands, it's all about, you know, the song and the
absolutely.
record. Yeah. And not so much about, you know, the dance or whatever.
Yeah.
Different times, man.
I'm going to ask you for your second track to please tell me the first song you remember hearing that had an emotional impact on you, please.
This Jealous Guy with John Lennon. Uh, I think my dad was, I'm from broken homes. I saw my dad once in a while. I just remember a time period where he was smoking a lot of cigarettes, black coffee, and looking out of the window when I visit, and he was listening to that song like over and over again. I actually remember it was, it made an impact, and I was thinking, this is a beautiful song. Maybe I've been 10, 11. That's some Bob Dylan songs too, but this one had like more personal. Maybe that's the time I realized my dad was a human being. Yeah.
If you
So
had to pinpoint what the emotion was, what do you think it was?
I just remember him being really lonely and heartbroken. When I look back, I know why, because his wife left him, or girlfriend, or what do you call it? He was more like a hippie guy, wasn't married, but so he had like a rough period. She left him for his best friend. I
Yeah.
didn't know that at the time, but when I look
Wow.
back, oh yeah.
And so, would you split your time between staying with your both parents?
Yeah, but I only, was in my dad place once every second month for 2 days. Mostly he just disappeared on bars. But
Yeah.
one of these dads, but very charming guy. Shitty dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
So, was you exposed to a lot of music at home?
we had a record collection. That's how you discover music. And then mostly my music, more experimental music, was through like skateboard videos. That's where I learned about Sonic Youth or Dinosaur Jr., bands like that. And friends, mixtapes. I grew up in Copenhagen. It was like a really boring, gray city. And I went to skate in the city, and the kids were older. I was maybe 10, 11. So they were like between 12 to 20. And, back in the days, you make mixtapes. And I think I got some mixtape from one of the older kids. I learned about, alternative music, like Stone Roses too, and stuff like that.
It's so important that what you've just said there is was so important for me. Skate videos were like that. They were where you'd find out about stuff. I found
It
out
was the
about Sonic
Bible.
Youth through skate videos. I found out
Yeah,
about Jane's Addiction through skate videos,
exactly.
and it was just this ropey VHS that would get passed around, from some of the weird kids that are a little bit older than us, and you put it on, it'd be like, fuck, what is this music? It was like so exciting.
I recorded also a skate video called Hocus Pocus. I recorded all the sounds. So my tape from my what do you call it? Walkman. That was like the whole video just with the songs and skateboarding.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. Love
Yeah,
that. Okay, well, let's stay in the formative years, and I'm going to ask you, please, to tell me
yeah.
the song that reminds you of your time at school, please.
All these Sonic Youth songs, Pale Saints. I don't know why. One of these bands. We had like one record store, and somehow when I was like 14, 15, I figured out 4D was a cool label, and I got a Pale Sin record. And I think that was next to like, all the rest of the bands for that time. And I remember The Fall. Discovered The Fall. The more like poppy side of The Fall at that period. So
Yeah,
that's why Bill is Dead is a good song though.
yeah,
But it's not like the punky side. I think he's into pop songs, maybe in the 90s, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And Who else? There were so many bands, man, for that period, and it has such a big impact on you. Fugazi too. I have a cross in my hand, no hair, no
Yeah,
alcohol.
of
Yeah,
course.
skate kid. Yeah,
Um, yeah, in regards to you talking about Pal Saints there,
yeah.
was that, and you mentioned 4 AD, was was that something that where you'd find a label, through your introduction being Pal Saints, and then go, oh, right, okay, who's the Cocktail Twins? Who are the Pixies? Who are Lush? Do you know what I mean? Like, would you then go and explore? Because for
I
me,
think that
bands,
was that was the first label I kind of discovered. I didn't know so much about creation. I think we knew about Sub Pop a little bit, but I wasn't so much into Mudhoney and that American sound. I don't know. I
yeah,
like Nirvana, of course, but I think like 4D was the first real label. It's like okay, and later on with Warp and all that, it has such a big impact. And I think I was too young to know about creation. I don't know. Later on, of course,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like maybe a few years later. But there was something about like 480. It was just I didn't know Pale Saints. I just remember buying the record. I liked the cover or something. And yeah,
And this is all
right.
English
It's great.
music, right?
What?
This is all English music you're listening to, right?
Because in Copenhagen, that's what it's closer to Britain. And I
Yeah,
think that's the magazine too. But Sonic Youth is from US, but it's far away. I think with Alternative Nation and MTV, you learn about American bands and a
yeah,
little bit more like Pavement too, and
yeah,
Fugazi is American, and the punk scene, of course.
yeah,
Yeah, Minor Threat, all that stuff,
yeah.
and skate videos. So
Yeah, again, like it's. I mean, I was a skater,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like you'd find all them stuff, and then you'd go back, then you'd go and find out about
yeah.
Fugazi and Minor Threat and Bad Brains, and it was like, right, what's going on? I need to go
Hmm.
back now, and like, yeah, it's so interesting when someone ever mentions on this show like skateboard videos. It's like it has such an impact on so many people.
Also, the idea of not, being true, the skateboard culture. So you can never fake it. You're good at skating or not, and everyone who's good has spent so much time on it.
Mm,
So, and no one really cares if you're good or bad, end of
yeah,
the day. But that's nothing you can fake,
yeah,
and you can just see it immediately. Okay, this guy spent so much time on the board,
yeah,
and this whole, and I think that impacts you as an artist too. Like this, like you have to be like true some way, no bullshit, a
yeah,
little bit, yeah. And of course, like the British band, I think maybe as a Dane, you can like your band like Pale Saints can be your neighbors. And I don't know, Sonic Youth, New York City is just so far away and big
yeah.
when you're like 15. It was like, well, yeah, some way I could see like my older brother or something
And with
in
these
the
bands,
UK scene.
with these
What?
bands, essentially the British bands, I guess, would they come to Copenhagen? Could you get to see them live?
Yeah, they'll come and play. That's not so far. So you could see them in Copenhagen playing. I remember seeing Ian Brown outside a small club, just hanging out. Also, it's a small city, and so when you come as a band, you go to the local bar. I think it's the same as you go to Scotland and play. You
Yeah,
have to go out after the show. You just go to,
yeah.
a few bars. Today, the city is so different. It's like this trendy hipster city, but it used to be like very small scene too. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you now to tell me the first song that you remember buying from a record store, please.
It was Freak Scene Dinosaur Jr., and that was from a skateboard video. I have the 7 inch somewhere. Yeah.
Mate, normally people's first record is shit. You have knocked it out the park. It's your first record is Freak Scene by Dinosaur Jr. That's as cool as it gets, man.
Yeah, but I didn't know at the time. But I come from a home with not so much money, so I think I was like 13, something like that. And
Yeah,
we had one record store in the city, and the guy who was working there was a piece of work, man. He was always like he was like this nasty punk. Always like if you want a record, he would say you wasn't true enough to get it or something like that. Yeah.
oh man,
And
I
he's still going on, and actually he moved the shop, and I saw he tagged our band in one of his like about new vinyl coming in the shop, and I was a little bit emotional actually. It's like 2 weeks ago, And he looks the same, just gray hair, long hair, and like still mad.
Do you know what? That was such a thing, though, wasn't it? That guy in the record shop that would make you work for your record. You know, you had to prove your credentials. It's fucking ridiculous, but I love it.
Yeah, that's how it was back in the days. But he sold me like Freak Scene, Dinosaur Jr. Yeah.
So tell
And
me, sorry,
it was actually the first, I think it was the first concert I went to when I was 13, Dinosaur Jr. with some skate kids in Copenhagen. So yeah.
oh, wonderful. I just
Yeah.
want to sort of touch on school and then formative years and that. Did you enjoy school?
Oh, fucking hate it. I skipped school for many years.
Did you?
And I, I went to the same school as Jonas, this hippie school. And we have four people who were thrown out of the school. And I'm one of them. And I probably smoked some weed when I was like 13. And the other guy, one of the other guys who were thrown out, I know my wife's play with him now. He's like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hated school. I didn't fit in at all.
Did you have any idea what you wanted to do?
No idea. Also, I didn't plan to make music. I wanted to maybe be a painter. Jonas was more like, we had a band when we was younger. He wanted to do like, he had a mission. I was just all over the place. Yeah.
And how did that kind of stumble through art and to find music?
I did a band before you. We called it Orange Dog or something. And I wanted to do more like noisy stuff. And Jonas wanted to do like indie pop or whatever, alternative pop. Also, I didn't want to be like four guys on stage. I thought it was boring. Too many, too many cocks on stage. That was like I just wanted to do something different. I don't know. And then I started making the sound for modern dance when I was 18, like noise and just all the sound when they do the movement. And I actually started making a living out of it a little bit because there's like funding in Denmark for culture things, so you can actually get like a fee to do it. And then I figure out this is a kind of a funny story, but American hip hop artists wanted to find breaks and they wanted no one I've heard about. So I figure out if you can find drum breaks on old psychedelic records from Scandinavia and put it on a DAT tape, you could sell it to them when they come to Denmark to perform. So more and more I got into this like idea of just producing too and finding breaks and making sound for modern theater, and it just happened slowly. I just started making a living DJing too, and it's just yeah,
And you'd
it just
hustle,
happened.
hustle
It was
selling
just fucking hustle.
psychedelic breaks to hip hop artists.
You
That's
know what I
fucking
did?
so great.
I went to the library, and in Denmark, the library has to buy all records. So they have all the records for like every year. Each time a new record come out in Denmark, they have to buy it to support the artist. So you can find like small psychedelic records, maybe only printed in 200 copies in the library. So I went to borrow it. I never delivered it back. I just sold it and paid the fee. It was like a hustle. So maybe a Japanese collector like was looking for it. Yeah. And then I paid the fees as I lost it. That's how I made a living. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
I'm going to. I mean, it's important. I think, and do you agree that if you work in the sort of the creative fields, whether that be art, production, music, DJing, you've got to be pretty versatile and spin as many plates as you can before one of them spins. Do you know what I mean?
You have to. This is Survivor, man.
Yeah,
And especially when you come from a family with no money, it's just hustling all the time.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
I'm going to ask you now to tell me the track that soundtracked your year's clubbing, please.
I wrote you a list, but I don't know because I can't remember I remember going to the club and I remember you can't put your arms around a memory. Johnny Thunder is. I just remember listening to. I don't know. I was obsessed with that song at one point in my life. So I remember going to the club listening to that song on my Walkman, and then Spiritualize, Ladies and Gentlemen, when I came back.
Yeah,
And I think the time I went clubbing and DJing was all about Mowax and Ninja Tune
yeah,
and Warp. So I think that was the soundtrack.
yeah.
Yeah. I just when you could send me the question, it's more like I can remember the songs when I came back, like when you were smoking a joint and just chill 4 in the
Yeah,
morning, and that was definitely spiritualized. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that album, that is ridiculous, and
The masterpiece,
it
right?
it it, it really is, right? I mean, Broken Heart. I mean, that's 20 minutes of your life just right there, and just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music. And yeah, he played my venue quite a few times in Spacemen 3, and it
That's
was
one of my
always,
favorite bands still.
oh man, was just always a joy.
Wow. Yeah,
And
yeah. Where's your venue?
it's in a place called Essex. It's called the Pink Toothbrush,
Okay.
and it's the longest running alternative venue in the UK.
Okay.
It's
For how many years? Like 30 years or 40?
we celebrated our 40th birthday last year, and
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
yeah, there's not many nightclubs left in the UK, man. They're
I heard
closing
about it. I can see that.
everywhere, and but yeah, we're a little
You need
different.
some funding from the state. That's what they have
Absolutely,
in
and
Copenhagen. Yeah, I can see that.
uh,
We still
uh,
have some of the old ones left, but if there's no funding, after COVID, it's just too much, and
yeah,
there's no money right
yeah.
now. I don't know. When you see the lineup, is there many bands, or is it just solo artists? And you,
When we look at what's going on in UK music,
yeah, yeah,
and we not that the charts really resonate with anyone anymore in regards to what's number one and what's in the top 20 and the
I don't
top
know, but
40. But when you do look at that,
uh,
it's just solo artists. There's no bands,
okay.
like, and that's worrying. And I look at movements in guitar music in the UK, because
Hmm.
I've been at my venue for 33 years, so I was kind of
Hmm.
lucky that I was there in '89 for the Roses and the Mondays, and I was there in '92 for
Hmm.
what happened was coming on sort of stateside, and through the mid '90s, what was going on in guitar music in the UK, which was huge.
Hmm.
And there's not been another movement of sorts where even like a certain area in the UK has kind of, there's a scene has grown. It just feels, just in general, that it's, I mean, I also have to be aware that I'm 51, so maybe there's lots of scenes that I'm unaware of. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
But
might be too old to know about it, but
it used to be like every like third year, fourth year, there was like a new genre from UK who just changed everything.
yeah, I don't know
Like
what.
dubsteps or whatever, shoegaze, whatever. It's just changed the whole like landscape,
Yeah,
and it hasn't been like that for the last since dubstep. Maybe I don't know.
I
I'm
don't think
sure
you're
there's a
wrong.
lot going.
I don't
What?
think you're wrong. I think that's about right.
Because it changed like the whole pop scene too. Like I remember hearing Taylor Swift suddenly have a dubstep break in her song like maybe 10 years ago or 12
Yeah,
years ago, and now I don't know. It's just one big. It doesn't have the same impact anymore as
it
it used
feels
to.
like that. It
Yeah,
feels like that. Um, well, look, from going clubbing,
yeah.
let's take you home, and for the next track, it's a favourite song from an artist from your home county, please.
Yeah, I have the new device with a singer called Sarah Savory. I should probably choose a new song too, but don't know the names. I'm really bad at names. I know all Jonas's records because I listened to them before they're out, and then also sometimes it's a little bit hard to listen to your best friend singing
Yeah,
heartbroken songs, and it's like it's too close. It's like seeing your parents making a speech, they're playing theater or something. It's the worst.
yeah.
Fucking, it's a little bit too close. But Sarah New Device is a really good song, and I think she's an underrated artist. She used to have a band called People Press Play on More Music in Germany. She's just one of these who made really great music, but never really was, a big career or something. But I love that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you now to be a tastemaker here, and for the last track, tell me a song that you think many people may not know that you would like them to hear, please.
I always give a shout out to my friend Damon from Swirlies because I love Pancake, the song. But not so long time ago, I was into listening to the whole catalog of Wire. And then I discovered AC Maria's something. I never heard the song before. It's called Just Talk. I think it's fucking, yeah, I was not aware of the song, and it's from 81 or something, and it's just so fucking brilliant. I love the guitar and the vocals.
Yeah,
Everything is just like, I'm, when you hear something, when it's like the same with Love, this album, no one has done it before. And then you hear this, and I'm sure I have never look at that period. I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit before Cocktail Twins or something. I don't know. It just sounds so fucking before their time.
yeah,
And I'm always like, whoa. I'm kind of like inspired when people are the first to do it. That was the feeling when I heard this Just Talk, AC Maria's song. Like, okay. And it's just one of these. I don't know much about the record at all. I just know some of them for a while produced the record and just sounds
yeah.
fucking mental. Yeah.
Well, we make it easy for the listeners of the show to go and check it out. We put together a little playlist of all the records that we've spoken about today.
Oh, did you have the playlist or I need to email it to you?
No, no, no. I can put it together. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
And
Cool.
and yeah, and obviously we'll be putting your music on there as well. And we've been talking about so much music from other artists. We're yet to talk about what you're up to. So bring us up to speed with what's happening, Tobias.
Oh man, it's not very interesting. I'm done, man. I don't know. I don't know. We worked on this album for like 4 years. I'm super slow. We always do like two albums in one. And I'm really proud of this album. It's more like guitar based. We went a little bit back. So that's my main instrument. That's how I grew up playing. So and it's more like live. No, I don't know. It's it's just an honest record. I love, the vocals are more like in your face, and I'm proud of it. It's good songs.
And when's it out?
In 18th of April.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people like it, some will don't care about it. It's okay.
Touring?
We're touring. We're gonna play a little bit this year, and next year we're gonna tour. And hopefully I'll come to Britain too. That's the plan.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So but this year there's so much going on in the band with kids. So it's gonna be like some festivals and a little bit. And little, I think we will go to Asia in the fall, and then we will say Europe next year.
Nice.
Because people has kids now. So my kids are old, so I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But that's how it is.
And if people want to keep up to speed and find out about releases and tours and such, where's the best place to keep up to speed with you?
A webpage. I kind of like webpage again. It's bluefoundationofficial.com, but Instagram, Facebook. I just like people's webpage. It's more personal. I don't know. So I want to do it more and remember to update it.
Okay.
It's so easy with on Instagram just to put it up, but I think we should go back to the webpage again.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's personal and there's more effort goes in.
Yeah, read some books, man. I don't know. We're all turning mental these days. Yeah.
Well, we'll put
It's
the
not,
web address in the show
yeah,
notes. So
do it. It's important, right?
go and check out check out the show.
Just call me.
Yeah. Yeah. Just come and have a chat. It's much
Yeah,
easier.
just
It's
put
a lot
my phone
easier.
number. Yeah. I don't
Tobias,
know. Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been good. I never get to talk about Dinosaur Jr. or Sonic Youth or skate
If you
videos, so it's
ever
nice.
come to Copenhagen, I skate. I still skateboard. So we have like a square we meet up in the summer. So like as back in the days. Yeah. So it'd be like
Oh, love the thought of that.
in the city. Yeah, yeah. So that's still a scene. So if you're
Oh,
coming, even like the old guys are just hanging out
oh,
with the
that's so
cruiser
cool.
boards. Yeah, yeah. So if you're ever coming, just bring your board and
Oh,
chill. Yeah.
love it.
It's a good vibe. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so
you take
much,
care.
man. You take it easy. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.